Hi, I'm Catherine, a licensed therapist and a virtual coach, and today I'm answering a question that was previously sent in about love languages. So before we jump in, make sure that you subscribe and like this video so that you can catch all of the next videos that are coming out. All right, here is the exact question that was sent in. How can I show love to a quality time and words of affirmation man? So if you have no idea what love languages are, I am going to put a link to a free love language quiz in the description. But basically, love languages are the ways in which that you receive love best. There are 5 main love languages. There's quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. So those are the main ways that people receive love best. So to give you an example, my main love language is acts of service. So if my husband goes to the store for me, when he cleans our house, things like that literally mean the absolute world to me. I feel so loved, so cared for. It's just absolutely the best for me. And so acts of service just means the world, and it's how I receive love best. When I saw this question and I was going to make this video and answer it, I was reminded when I was in college, I had first started dating my husband now, and we both took the love language quiz, and he found out that his main one was words of affirmation. And at the time, my roommate's love language was also words of affirmation. And wouldn't you know, that's like one of the very bottom love languages for me. And so I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, words don't have the same power necessarily for me, and so like I have to learn how to do this for them. I was like, this is the perfect storm, trying to figure this out. Needless to say, I struggled a little bit in the beginning. I remember also being like, oh, because as a kid, my brother used to get really like upset with me, and we had a lot of disagreements because I would say stuff and think like, what's the big deal? And he would get really upset about it. Turns out his love language was words of affirmation. And so it goes both positive and negatively. When you say things that are negative to a words of affirmation person, it really cuts deep. So anyways, I had to practice a lot to get better at it. It did get better. So if you find out that your spouse's love language is something that you are not very great at, it's okay, you can get better. That's what practice is for. So let's talk about those 2 main ways that was in this question, quality time and words of affirmation. First, something I would say that's always really helpful is to directly ask them, like, what specific ways mean the most to you that would show you love. The way that people receive love is different. One quality time person doesn't mean that they're gonna love the same thing as a different person that also has quality time as their love language. So you can honestly just ask them. You can also look at the things that they complain about. So if you always hear them say like, oh, I wish you'd watch this basketball game with me, or like, you never go on walks with me. Like, I would really enjoy it if we could go on a walk together. Those are key things that you can kind of tuck away as, ooh, they would really feel loved through quality time if I did X, Y, and Z. It's also really important to understand that men need and desire to be respected. So you can also keep that in mind when it comes to words of affirmation. Those things could be really uplifting and deposit into their love account, if you will. There's 3 things that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to words of affirmation that you can focus on. The first one is appreciating your husband's efforts. So noticing when he does something really well, when his dinner that he cooked was super good, when he worked really hard on yard work and you notice it, you know how much time he put into it. Notice the things that he does and tell him, compliment him, say those things positively for him to know. The second one is encouraging his confidence. So this is saying like, you are such a good hard worker. I really appreciate that about you. Saying things like, I believe in you wholeheartedly. I know that you're gonna do a really good job. Those things really will speak life into him. The third one is acknowledging his leadership and his strength. Saying things like, I really appreciate how you lead our family. I feel like I can trust you. I feel so cared and loved by you. I really respect that you are taking lead in this, or take full ownership for blah, blah, blah. Like, really speak life into that part of him as well. This is one of the main relationship components, love languages, that I incorporate into the 30-day couples connection challenge. So what this is for 30 days, you get simple activities or prompts that you will go and do. And a lot of them have to do with love languages because it's such a huge pivotal way to speak directly to your spouse and really deposit positive things into them, which then trickles into positive things for your whole relationship. Life is also just really busy. And so sometimes not that we forget about our spouse, but trying to keep in mind words of affirmation as like something that you do if you're like me and that's not one of your top love languages, it can just kind of like accidentally fall through the cracks. So it's not that you're not trying to show them love, just so much is going on, and it's just really hard to sometimes really be intentional when you want to be able to focus on that. So this challenge is designed for the busiest of couples. The prompts, the activities are really short and simple, but they make pivotal movements to, like I said, depositing into your spouse and into your relationship. Keep in mind that if this is not a strong suit for you, it's kind of like working out a muscle. It's a little bit awkward at first. So maybe you're like, I don't really feel like I would say something like that. Okay, try it out. See how it feels. See how they respond. If you're like, wow, they responded and felt so loved by that, that will encourage and motivate you to keep going, to keep finding words that are you, that sound like you, right? Because I might say something as a words of affirmation to Philip, my husband, but it might sound foreign in your words. So like, speak the language that you speak to them. It's really because you know them best. So just get comfortable, maybe in the uncomfortable in the beginning as you practice and lean into getting better, speaking the language that they need to hear, uplifting them, and exercise that muscle, because it will become second nature. You will be training your brain to look for ways that they're doing things that are good. You will be training your brain to look for things that you can speak over them, speak life over them. My husband and I have this little it's called a boogie board. It's like this thing that you just write on. It's like magnetized to the fridge. And every once in a while, we just kind of like take turns. We write little things, thank you so much for helping in the middle of the night with our baby who's 5 months old right now. Or I love you so much. Thanks for going to the store earlier. Whatever it is, just building a culture of appreciation is really helpful. And so I love that you're trying to grow in these quality time and words of affirmation love languages, because that is a huge thing for yourself, for your spouse, for your marriage, all really important things. All right, if this was helpful, please like this video. Let me know in the comments what was helpful. If you have any other questions or concerns, I would love to hear them. And then make sure that you subscribe so that you can catch the next video, and I will see you then.